Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to review Captain Lightyear at skill level 4, 5, and 6. Now this video is going to look slightly different compared to the other videos that I review. I am going to focus a lot heavier on skill level 6 and show you my journey on practicing with Captain Lightyear. I haven't fully perfected Captain Lightyear's ability just yet, so I am going to practice with him a little bit more before I do a full tutorial. But if you guys are looking for the in-depth analysis of Captain Lightyear, I do have another video that covers Captain Lightyear at skill level 1, 2, and 3. And in that video, I do go over some of the strategies that I use and also some of the stats. That video does cover skill level 1, 2, and 3, and the strategy does change a little bit. So I would recommend you to check that video out if you haven't done so already. But for this video, I do want to focus on skill level 4, 5, and 6, go over some of the differences and the strategies that I use for these three levels. So the main difference here is two things between skill level 4, 5, and 6, and actually skill 1, 2, and 3 as well. And that is the number of zooms that's going to be required to activate Captain Lightyear's ability, as well as how many taps that you're going to get during his ability time. But before I go any further, if you guys are enjoying this type of content where I do zoom reviews, monthly leaks, selection box reviews, pickup capsule reviews, then definitely don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It'll really help me out a lot. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the strategy for skill level 4, 5, and 6. So similar to skill level 1, 2, and 3, the first two bursts, or the first two taps is very important for Captain Lightyear. You want to clear as many zooms as possible, and the next important thing is timing your taps. You don't want to be too slow, but you don't want to be too fast either for the remaining taps. For skill level 6, you will have a total of 5 taps. So the first two taps you want to do at the center of the screen, and the last 3 taps you want to tap towards the letter B for fever bonus. And I'll circle that area when we do a side-by-side comparison of these 3 abilities. But I do want to let these gameplays play out a little bit more so you can see my first impression for Captain Lightyear. And one thing I do want to call out is that these 3 game demonstrations is not the perfect way of playing Captain Lightyear. So don't use this particular gameplay as demonstration. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, I am going to do more in-depth tutorial on how to use it. But at the end of this video, I am going to show you some of my game demonstrations for skill level 6 and only skill level 6. And I will show you some of my journey in learning how to use Captain Lightyear and some improvements that I made. So keep an eye out for these 3 game demonstrations. They're not going to be perfect, but later on I will show you some of the strategies that I implemented and how significantly they improved. So these are just some of my first impressions and learning how to use it. But overall, I think Captain Lightyear is a really fun zoom to use. I've been really enjoying the learning process in trying to perfect Captain Lightyear, at least get closer to the 10,000 mark, which I know that he's capable of. I've seen other gameplays from other players that can reach 10,000 coins. So I'm trying to get there before I make another tutorial video. But anyways, here is the side-by-side comparison of all 3 of the abilities activated at the same time. And as a reminder, these are not the perfect game demonstration, so don't take these as examples of what you should do during the animation. So if you are practicing with Captain Lightyear, this is the first thing you want to figure out, is where to do the first 2 taps. And this is a very important part because it sets you up for the next couple of taps depending on what skill level you have him at. So you want to clear as many zooms off the screen as possible. For these 3 game demonstrations for skill level 4, I got a combination of 17 and 18, which totaled 35. So this is okay. It's kind of on the lower end. And for skill level 5, I got a combination of 22 and 18. And this is really good. So that's a total of 40. And for skill level 6, I got a combination of 20 and 16, which is 36. So that's average. But because you clear so many zooms off the screen, it's going to start dropping from the top. So now the next key component is where to do the 3rd, 4th, and 5th tap. For skill level 4 and 5, you're going to get 4 taps total, so you have to figure out where to do the next 2 taps. For skill level 6, you have a total of 3 additional taps. And a fun fact, you actually see how many remaining blasts you have right above the fever bar. Those little red circle represents how many more taps you have left. Okay, so in terms of the remaining taps, where you should aim for is right above the fever bonus letters. So I'll circle it here so you can see exactly where it is. And it's really important to press as close to that little light bulb as possible, or that little bezel. That represents the, I guess, like the arena of the screen of what you can actually tap. Anything above that, you cannot tap and nothing happens. But if you're tapping a little bit below exactly where the B is, it might be a little bit too low. So the closer you could get to that little light bulb right above the B, that's perfect. And the B I'm talking about is the fever bonus, so that character B. That is the perfect position to tap at the very top. That way you'll clear everything that's above the screen. So Tsums are actually there, we just can't see it because the coin counter and the score counter is blocking it. But as you tap it, you'll see that the closer you get, you'll get more coins. So I'll show this in this game demonstration one more time. It's a little bit harder to see because there's so many numbers that are popping up, but I can assure you the higher you tap, the better. And also there is a perfect rhythm to it, or pattern. So you don't want to press too soon, or you don't want to press too quickly, but you also don't want to press too late. You want to press just as the Tsums are still at the very top. That way you get the maximum amount of clears. So that's the ability portion of skill level 4, 5, and 6. Now I do want to show you my results for these first gameplays. I am going to show you a more in-depth analysis later on, but I want to just focus on these 3 gameplays first. So for skill level 4, I ended up with 2,735 coins. For skill level 5, I got 3,089 coins. And for skill level 6, I got 4,278. So these results are actually really good, given that I didn't even use the perfect strategy for it. I was just kind of playing randomly. I wasn't timing my taps. It wasn't great. So even at that, I was able to get a really high score as well. And the coins are okay, not great, but once you perfect it, you can get into the 10,000s of coins. So let's take a look at the score here. And keep in mind as well is that these game demonstrations were my first attempts. So these are really low level Captain Lightyears. At skill level 4, I ended up with 9.5 million. Skill level 5, I got 10.9, and at skill level 6, I got 15 million. So like I mentioned, Captain Lightyear currently at a pretty low level and is already getting really decent score. So I believe that if I could get Captain Lightyear to level 50, he's gonna be a top scorer. So stay tuned. Once I get Captain Lightyear to level 50, I'll maybe make a short or something like that and show you what my high score was for Captain Lightyear. Alright, now I want to show you some additional footage of skill level 6. After I made the skill level 4, 5, and 6 video or recordings, I continued to play Captain Lightyear at skill level 6 and try to work out the strategy. And if you take a look at the very right, that is the most progressed gameplay that I've made. So if you look at the very end, these were still like level 6 and level 7 Captain Lightyear, so they're still very new. Very left is the more earlier gameplays, and on the right, they're more advanced as I'm learning a little bit, getting the hang of using Captain Lightyear. So you'll see that the strategies are starting to get implemented, and I'm getting better at using Captain Lightyear. So you'll see that the strategy is implemented on the right hand side, where I'm doing the first 2 taps, but even at the first 2 taps, they're not perfect. You'll see that as I'm doing the animation, I'm only getting still 35, 36, still on the lower end. But if you get into the 40 range, that's really good. I also haven't perfected the timing yet. So I think for these game demonstrations, I still need to tap a little bit faster. So I'm going to continue to practice using Captain Lightyear and then show you guys when I have it finally perfected. But you get the general idea where the first 2 taps should be towards the center of the screen. And then the remaining taps right above the letter B above fever bonus. Now I have seen comments in the other video that I've made where people were suggesting maybe tapping on the center of the screen and just letting them fall before tapping. That's one way of doing it, but if you notice that the timer doesn't stop during the animation, so if you're waiting for Tsums to fall down and then you're tapping, you're wasting a lot of time by doing that. So while it is a good strategy to use, you're clearing a lot more Tsums off the screen that way, you're also losing a lot of time to implement additional abilities per game. So yes, you're getting more clears per ability, but you're getting less abilities per gameplay. So that's the trade-off. If you have a lot of hearts to spend and don't really care about the time, then yeah, you could do that, but you're also wasting your 5-4 investment where you're paying a lot to use the 5-4 and also the coin boost. So keep some of those factors in mind. And as you can see here for these 3 game demonstrations for skill level, well, they're all skill level 6, but for the very left game demonstration, I ended up with 5,496 coins. For the middle game demonstration for skill level 6 is 6,431. And at the very right, which is the final one that I recorded thus far, I got 7,240. So just with even a couple of practice rounds, I was able to significantly increase it. So in the other game demonstrations I showed you, at skill level 6, I was only able to get about 4,000 coins, but playing 3 additional games, I was able to increase it to 7,240. So as I expect to play a little bit more, I should be able to get into the 10,000 marker. But at the same time, when you're comparing his ability to Jedi Luke's ability, or even Beast or Gaston, it's still not quite there at that level, but it is a top performer. So if you're looking for a Tsum that doesn't require a gyro and doesn't need a lot of clears, then Captain Lightyear is a really good option for you. Alright guys, so that's my review for Captain Lightyear at skill level 4, 5, and 6. Stay tuned, I am going to do a more in-depth review of Captain Lightyear. I'm actually going to do a tutorial for Captain Lightyear at skill level 6. So if you're looking for a video tutorial where I slow things down, show you exactly where to tap, the perfect positions, and perfect timing, then stay tuned. I am going to make a tutorial for that. And if you guys would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.